Okay, I'm recording.
Okay. Um,
Now we're back.
well, on the on the stream it's still showing Basescape, of course, but yeah, because we're still under the banner of Basescape. But so welcome everybody. We're back. It's been a while, but at the same time, it hasn't. In crypto, the the days are long, but the years are short. Um, yeah, I think we'll just go over a recap, right, Albino, and then just go over stuff like how did we get here and like where we're going to. Um, so I think maybe like because some
Yeah.
of you here been with us since Etherscape. Well, initially that's first where me and Albino started with this project and this idea of this because we saw the potential of a good working server with all the aspects and the play to earn aspects in it. We had a good run on ETH, certainly we did. We achieved major milestones, but we came to the conclusion, as you know, that we couldn't really expand. We couldn't really flourish there because of the gas fees, right? Because we were targeting play to earn players or like just like average Joe players. They have a smaller income and they would already have to pay like $40 to get tokens in and out. So it wasn't really uh, sustainable.
It
And
heavily
at that
favored the
time,
crypto side because
yeah.
obviously a lot of the crypto trading volume is on Ethereum, right? So conceptually it leaned in favor of, the crypto token value. But if the token doesn't actually work for its purpose when we were on Etherscape, then the whole concept kind of goes up in the air. And we eventually reached that point in Etherscape, like Julius is saying.
So then, me and Obama came to the table. Okay, we need to think of something, right? Because um, yeah, we've invested not only money but a lot of time and also emotions. Like we almost not need another migration; we just need therapy. But so at that time, we just had the feeling that there was still so much gas in the gas tank, and we're sitting around the table, and both me and Albino were like pitching each other. Well, we could do Solana, but nah, maybe better Base because Base was still a little bit in our comfort zone because it's a Ethereum virtual machine, right? So all our dashboard staking, everything would be compatible, as well as like the deposits. And so we then leaned more to Base as well, being the early adapters of Base. And we had the idea that we would really be welcome to their ecosystem and also being recognized by them. And we had some great achievements there as well. We had such a good run, almost smoothless migration ever. We migrated the Etherscapers to Basescape, and you know, it's been very profitable for both sides after the launch and also for the new buyers coming in. But we saw after months went on, the decline came in, and we saw the decline coming in from on-chain volume or on-chain users. There's not a lot of communities, and we've participated in a lot of these spaces. And I came up with a bunch of ideas to collaborate with, for example, Miggles. I mean, Miggles is actually following the Twitter and like these things. They did something right, but we saw that in the long haul, it's going to take an insane amount of funds or insane amount of hours spent in like getting the same results as we would do on ETH or any other chain, in
Yeah.
terms of like getting users or buyers or holders or so.
Well, I think
Then
that's also another thing to say too, is like to be very candid, guys. We on Etherscape we launched and we had kind of a meme essence to us. We always had the plan to release the server and to make it more of a gaming project and things of that nature. But we started off and we continued on Etherscape with a strong meme culture. And I think when we went to Basescape, I think we really focused on the game side, right? We put like all of our eggs in the basket with Basescape on the server being successful, reaching new all-time highs with players, getting the ecosystem going, getting people spending tokens, and us ultimately being able to use that to showcase like, hey, we have something super viable here with our economy and with value to holders, value to stakers, value to players. We had kind of hit conceptually all these marks in our head to where we had the perfect gaming project when it comes to crypto and web 2 gaming. Like we have the perfect synergy here to onboard, retail, onboard the masses, and really scale this thing up with the vision that we set out for. And I think just being very candid, for anybody that's going to listen to this recording, we had a lot of achievements, but we also had a lot of failures too. And a lot of that came with valuable experience behind it that we're going to obviously keep applying to the project. And I hope people recognize that migrations are kind of bearish and everything else, but 9.9 out of 10 devs would have just walked by at this point, right? Like they would have just up and gave up.
Already, I
But
think back at Escape, like the average, like almost every team I know would have said, "Okay, guys, we tried," and then we gave base another shot, and we really did. I mean, it's 6 months ago since we launched on base.
yeah, but
But that's
the intentions behind what we're doing, I hope people recognize, like, obviously we really do have this dedication, this vision behind this that we want to see out, man. And I hope throughout I mean, shit, within just a couple months, it's going to be a year long with this project. I hope after a year, people are really able to see, like, the dedication to see this idea come to fruition in full scope. And going back to the other part too, we've had a lot of valuable experiences, guys. When we went to Basescape, I mean, I guess I can just kind of talk openly about it now. Like the server at one point was held hostage from us. We had to buy the server. We had to spend a large percentage of our marketing wallet to be able to buy the server outright. And be able to continue the gaming side, because again, when we came to Basescape, just to wrap that idea up, when we came to Basescape, we really put a lot of our eggs in the GameFi basket to be able to onboard so many people onto Base Chain, to get the recognition and the synergy with base chain, have their exposure as well hit us. There was all these different things that just fell short. I mean, to be honest, like they just fell short when we went to Basescape. The 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 hostage situation with the server threw a giant wrench and everything. I mean, it was very costly for us to keep things running, and ultimately, it didn't even pan out the way that we needed it to. But with all these experiences that fell short and didn't hit the mark, guys, we learned a lot about the our RuneScape industry, about the crypto industry, about GameFi side of things, and obviously with base kind of suffering on volume right now. I don't want to put it. I don't want to put the need for a migration now on the fact that base chain isn't performing to some standard, right? It was kind of a mix of all these ingredients to where right now we'd have to come out of pocket significantly or sell off a ton of tokens to be able to have the capital to push this the way that it deserves to be pushed, right? And it's just not feasible. It's not feasible, right? And going to a chain like Solana, it allows us to manage the volume, to manage the attractiveness when it comes to the crypto side. And not only that, we'll go over that more of that, but just know, like, the base chain side of things, it's a need. It's a need for us, I think, at this point to go where we can manage volume and things of that nature better. But I don't want to get too carried away before we get into like some of
yeah.
the nitty gritty
No,
details
no,
about
no, no.
Solana. Go ahead.
I just wanted to do a small bridge on like what you so yeah. So like Albina said, some base we really went for the utility because there isn't a utility like us out there, or like if anyone ever has the idea of like on short term to do the same idea, we're way ahead of them, right? And that's why also we think this still has so much gas in the gas tank. But we saw that once we really focused on the utility, yeah, it might be in our better interest to focus more on the mimi side of it with the utility behind it. That way, people come, they enjoy the meme, they stay, they enjoy the utility. To put it short, in the short term.
Well, the liquidity comes in with the memes right now. Let's be honest, and it's not
Yeah,
going
yeah,
anywhere,
yeah.
guys.
And that's
I
that's what
think,
we noticed. Like
yeah.
on Solana, it's crazy. All liquidity is going towards Solana. Um, we've been maybe a bit of much too much of a boomer to not recognize it for the past month or the past months. Like maybe back when we made the choice to go to base, we should have already said, "Let's fuck it, let's go Solana." But now we're going to, because also we had chats with the founders of Basescape, of the base chain, and we just felt like, yeah, this chain is just not it. If we want to continue on, like Albina's just saying, it will cost us exceptional money to get the same result as we would do on any other chain. So there comes the answer. The next chapter is going to be on Solana. Both me and Albino feel very confident about this choice. It will do good to our utility, and at the same time, it allows us to open the book again on the meme side. And we can attract so many more people that have or can relate to, the brand as a meme, as an experience. And yeah, I'm very bullish on that, guys.
Me too. Obviously, a lot of, I mean, everybody's open to working with Solana projects right now, and yeah, again, managing the volume, managing some of the smaller things are much more efficient on Solana too, which is something that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, and by this we want to bring our most loyal players. And it's maybe a good bridge to give a small introduction. I don't know if people already met Hoax, but he's here with us, and Hala. Well, I think most of you know already Hala. And a funny part is that already since August, well, the project almost looked dormant. The devs have been continuing to develop. Like I said in some sneak reviews, we have an entire new game basically. I shared some small sneak peeks here and there while I kept you guys in the dark because I wanted to give you guys something. But maybe Hooks, you can just briefly mention why it got so much more stability than our client has now, and like all the bullishness about it.
So basically, this version is it's all essentially the same source, right? Just this version, it doesn't have all the stuff that the previous dev messed up or added in to be malicious. Um, Realistically, there's no networking. There should be no networking issues. There's no need for an update server and the game server. It all runs in one. So the JS5 should be a lot faster when loading up your client. Whatever.
Yeah, and like okay, so how many players can a new server handle? Are you confident to say okay?
Mm, should be able to handle close to 400 to 500.
No, that's bullish. That's like
Maybe
double the
maybe
amount.
more. I think
Yeah.
maybe more.
Yeah, so we're very happy about that, and I think like as the weeks pass on, we're going to show a little bit more about the new game, and I think maybe we can slowly get some people to get a sneak preview, because we've been listening to the community a lot. For example, we have the prestige system, we have the weapons upgrade system, we have the newest raids, and there's a ton of more shit that we had added, but we can't just full disclose everything right now because we gotta um, get the marketing to kick in and get people excited. And it's also my call to you guys. As Albino said, like most devs would have long be gone. Uh, guys, as we go into this next phase, your support is greatly, greatly appreciated. Because we're going to kickstart new socials. And I think it would be great if you guys could, hop in for a follow, like, retweet, comment, all those stuff. That really helps, especially on social.
So back to this one being different than the previous version. I can't really say much because I don't know anything about the previous version. Besides, what the base was and that there was issues with the networking and all that. But I can say from the little testing we've done, it seems like those issues shouldn't happen. So
Yeah, and well, yeah, Hala's also here. Hala, say something. So at least you said something during this session.
Yeah, I said something. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, about the server performance, we'll definitely not have to restart the server every 12 hours anymore. So that's a huge win. No more lag. This new move definitely will help with just the player experience, being able to play the game without any interruptions.
Yeah, I mean that's basically it. Well, what else do we want to? Oh yeah, maybe we just want to briefly go over the details of the migration, Albino.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So guys, the form is up right now. We dropped it just recently. And filling out the form is essential because obviously we have to have your Solana address to send you the migrated tokens once we do go live. But kind of what we're thinking liquidity wise, because we have a really thick liquidity pool right now, which is good at certain levels, but definitely bad right now. So what we're gonna do, guys, is it's going to be a unique launch. How we foresee it, I guess, in a perfect world between Julius and I's conversations is that we use roughly half of the liquidity to market the pre-launch to allow us to have great momentum, obviously at that launch point and then thereafter with things that we schedule. So we're going to be utilizing some of the liquidity pool to do that. I think initially when we migrated from Etherscape to Basescape, we added roughly $15,000 in additional liquidity that we took from what we migrated on Etherscape. So we had a ton more liquidity that we added into Basescape. This time, instead of adding liquidity, we're actually going to be making sure that our liquidity pool is just a healthy ratio, market cap to liquidity wise, and basically utilizing some of those funds to really make sure we have decent amount of buy pressure existing, and then obviously the momentum thereafter being big and kind of up to expectations. But yeah, in terms of the migration process, Julius is showing the form right there. It's super easy. Send your tokens in, enter your Solana address, and then make sure you submit the form. If you have any questions, you can reach out to Julius or I on Discord or Telegram. Um, but yeah, no, when we migrate over, it should be fairly seamless. We're giving ourselves, I think we said Q4 in the actual form itself, and that should be no problem at all. But obviously, we want to get this thing rolling. So, going back to it, when we migrate, we're changing everything, guys. Just to clarify that point, we're changing the name, we're changing the logo, we're changing the entire basically spirit of the project at face value. We're changing it all, and so in order not to get front run with this concept and the materials that we're building, the website, everything else, we're not going to release it publicly until about maybe 2 or 3 days before we launch. And that at that point, at 2 or 3 days before launch, is when we're going to start that pre-launch marketing to really start funneling into the Telegram group, like really organic people. We want real liquidity in there. Obviously, we're going to keep the chart attractive however we can, but we want real liquidity come into the project. So that 2 or 3 days before launch, it's going to be billed as more of a mystery project. I think you guys will really like how we set this up. But yeah, and that's when marketing's going to start, and then thereafter, and we're off and running, guys. But we're still going to have the value that's going to be like the perfect balance here, right? We're going to be meme at heart, we're going to be meme in name, we're going to be meme in culture, but we're also going to have this server in the background that's running, moving. It's very cheap, as we discussed with Basescape, to run RuneScape specific marketing. We're going to be doing that throughout the entirety. That's not going to stop, guys. We're still going to have the server as a huge value, but we're really going to tap into a meme culture on Solana that we weren't able to on Basescape, and just kind of change the air of the project so that we can keep that momentum and obviously keep new faces coming in too.
Yeah. That's basically the thing, right? That we struggle with on base, the new faces. But we can briefly just go over the form because I had some people question. So in the first question, you just fill in, your Telegram or your Discord if you don't have Telegram. Here in this tab, you basically send your tokens to this address. It's a deployer wallet, and you send us the transaction. Some people send their wallet address, but that just makes a lot of hassle for us. Just send a transaction of your tokens being sent to the deployer. Um, your Solana address. Now, let me put this simple because I'm not sure if, because some people even put their Binance Solana address, but it cannot be a centralized exchange address. You have to set up a wallet. It be Phantom Wallet, MetaMask has this function with Soulflare, or you could use Coinbase wallet. It also has like a nice bridge into Solana, but the choice is up to you. But just make sure that it's a DeFi wallet, not a centralized exchange wallet. You can just paste it there. Optional if you played our game or you're just like a supporter on chain. Um, you can leave your name if you played our game because there's coming like a small reward for players that have been with us through the next migration. And then yeah, just for the confirmation that you put in the valid Solana address. So I am gonna to reach out to some people that put in the centralized exchange because that really doesn't work because they will not be able to retrieve your tokens and they will be burned. Um, But yeah, so basically that's the form, that's the vision, this is the team. Well, what else we gotta? I think that's about it. It's a good wrap, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think if there's anything else, guys, but
Yeah,
that's
maybe briefly just about like in-game tokens. In-game tokens. Um, so it's only a handful of players. We have some measures in game where you could, with a command that we're going to release, we're going to release like a small tutorial. With a command, you instantly migrate your tokens. They're like sort of say sold or burned or disappeared. But in our next client, you'll log in with your old account. You have to use your same username. That's important. You use a command, and bam, you have your new tokens in our game. There are some special cases, where a lot of people deposited, didn't withdrew, and they used the money in the server for items. Of course, I understand you cannot sell those items anymore. Um, we're going to make like, because it's only a handful of people, we're going to look into the cases, look at the amount that they withdrew. If they did not withdraw anything, you're free to get the initial deposit back. Um, so yeah, that will be released in another post about how that's going down. The server will keep running for some time still, but they're also slowly going to close that down as we're going to start with the new client. Yeah, we're just ready, man. Yeah, we're gonna aim at the sky, shoot for the moon. Solana is welcoming us. I can feel it, especially with this new concept like Albino just talked about. I think our meme has insane amount of strength, and it's just super bullish. The ticker as well. Like sometimes a ticker is all that matters on a coin. I think our ticker also is top class.
it is. And so, I mean, right now, like Julius was saying, the huge part of this is community. Again, we're gonna be moving. We're gonna have a brand new Telegram. We're gonna have a brand new Twitter. So once these links are sent out, and obviously we just need we need everyone to be hyper supportive at that point. Once we start advertising, kick it in with us, and we'll make it a huge event. We'll make launch. I guess just a profitable experience for everybody, especially to the people that have obviously held and been so supportive. We're committed to making sure that you guys see the full value like we do. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because there's still like we said in the beginning, most devs would have already left the project at ETH. Certainly, everyone would have left the project at Base. But we're still here with the vision. We think
Oh,
there's still so
real
much.
quick. Real quick, something we didn't talk about, Julius. So obviously,
Yeah,
going to Solana means that we're moving to a zero tax ecosystem. We're expediting our entire gameplay ecosystem to essentially to have withdrawal fees, to have a few fees here and there, and to make sure that sustainability wise, it's functional and that we have this revenue source within the game that's making the whole project go right. Like giving us operations funds and things of that nature. It's huge, to be able to go and run this token zero tax on the buy and sell. And yeah, I think to me that was super bullish to keep volume going, to keep the speculative people trading, whether they think it's a good entry or they think it's time to sell, whatever the case is, they're not burdened by that, the tax that always throws the volume off. So now zero tax ecosystem, all that kind of fun stuff, and then yeah, should be cool.
yeah. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll stay in touch. Certainly.
See ya.